Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of GameHammer Dailies. Now, this week I want to do something a little bit special. There are 4 Dizzy arcade games that come in these box sets as well as singly, and we want to cover all of them because it's important to have a proper record of everything that Dizzy did. So, welcome to Dizzy Week. This time we're looking at Fast Food Dizzy. Created in 1987 as a promotional game to advertise fast food restaurant chain Happy Eater, Fast Food was a twist on the standard Pac-Man arcade game for home computers. The game was set to be released on all of the major computer formats of the day, plus some of the more esoteric systems such as the Enterprise 64 and Enterprise 128. For today, we'll be playing the game on the Amstrad CPC because that's the version that I know from my childhood. Okay, so we've had a bit of an issue with the tip Fast Food Dizzy, so we're going to have to use an emulator. Let's get into it. During the course of the game's production, the advertising deal with Happy Eater was dropped, according to the Oliver twins, who made the decision to put Dizzy in as the game's protagonist instead. The Oliver twins also made the interesting decision to not include enemies on the first couple of levels of the game, which allows newcomers to get to grips with the controls and the goals of the game before enemies start turning up and start getting in their way. As a kid, I don't remember this being off-putting, but then again, by the time I was actually playing the game, I was a many years veteran of gaming, so I'm not exactly this particular design choice's target audience. It does work to draw in players though, and that's to be appreciated. As you can see, it's quite fast-paced, it's decent, it's nice graphics, very bright, lovely, and it's fun to play. It's like a modified Pac-Man clone, but it's still fun. The mechanics of the game are actually rather simple. Dizzy navigates a maze, collecting food and drink as he goes. The objective is to collect all of the food that's on the screen when the game starts. The drinks that appear during the course of play are bonus items that you can collect if you want, just to increase your score, but if they'll prove too tricky to get to, you can just leave them. The enemies are a variety of creatures that look a little bit like trees. Each colour of enemy has a distinct personality that will determine how likely it is to chase you around the maze, with the green enemy, Bonzo, being the slowest and most prone to simply wandering about of its own accord, while the blue enemy, Fido, is smart enough to try and catch you at junctions when you're escaping from other enemies around the maze, so that he can be quite challenging. Now, you can eat the enemies if you pick up the shield, which randomly appears somewhere in the maze from time to time. But again, you don't have to pick this up, and even if you do pick it up, you don't have to go after the enemies. It's there as a strategy for getting past enemies if they're getting around food that you need to collect, but it's also there as a way of increasing your score. So go for it if you want, but don't worry if you don't have the time or you think it's going to be too dangerous to get it. It's one of those things that allows you to have different strategies for different playthroughs of the game. I appreciate that. Give me the shield of justice. Come here, I'm going to eat you now. How do you like it, eh? How do you like it? The shield is one of several power-ups that will appear throughout the game. There are speed-ups and slowdown tokens, which thankfully don't last long because they actually do make the game a lot more difficult to play. No, I don't want it to slow down. Now it's just... No. Thankfully it's only temporary. And there's also what appears to be the Eye of Sauron, although I've never been able to work out exactly what this does. It seems to make the enemies ignore you, so if you find yourself in a tight spot, it can be worth grabbing. But you're still vulnerable to the enemies though when you have it, or at least that's how it seems to me, so be aware of that. I mentioned earlier that this is based on Pac-Man, and it's very much apparent when the short cartoons turn up every third level or so. These are really well animated and quite funny. As a kid, I used to look forward to seeing what would happen next in these cartoons. They really do feel like something that's rewarding to reach, and my friends and I would push ourselves to get further and further through the game just to see the next one. It's a great feature. The idea does of course come straight from the Pac intermissions, as the Pac-Man cartoons are known, but Fast Food Dizzy's cartoons are mostly their own creations, which is cool. It gives a lot more character and a lot more personality to the game, and I really think that's great. Fast Food Dizzy is the third game to feature Dizzy as a protagonist. It follows hot on the heels of Treasure Island Dizzy and marks the Egg Adventurer's first foray outside of the graphic adventure genre. As a first attempt at a Dizzy-themed arcade game, it's really quite enjoyable. The graphics are bold and lovely to look at. The music is so catchy that it will be stuck in your head for days on end, and the game is so immensely playable that you'll keep coming back for more time and time again. The soundtrack for this is brilliant. I love Codemaster's old style. The emulator's not liking this, it keeps going crunch crunch. I'm loving Codemaster's old style, I always did, with the cartoony graphics and the bright sound. It's just lovely and well polished. It's a shame that they moved away from the cartoony stuff and started getting all gritty and real, because it worked so well for them, and it's great. Isn't that the story of gaming? Trying to become more real and gritty at the expense of the fun? All in all, this is a great game and it's well worth playing, regardless of the format that you actually pick it up on. I think you'll have a lovely time with this one. I hope you liked that. Fast Food Dizzy is actually quite a fun game. I had a lot of fun with this one. It's great, it's fast paced, it's colourful, it's great fun. It's clearly not a proper Dizzy game, but it is a good arcade game and that's what counts. So I hope you liked it as much as I did, and if you did, remember to click that like button, share this too so that your friends will know a good game when they see it, and do subscribe for future videos because there will be more in the future, like tomorrow for example. But until next time, I've been Kirk-Robinson, you've been watching GameHammer Daily, and I'll see you tomorrow.